Michael, nice to see you. Hi, Selma. Ellie, how are you? Ellie, I got both my shoes on, but to be fair, I'm wearing slippers. Cat says yay. Cat. What can I say? Almost unbelievable. Things that have happened in the past few days. You can say, Cat, you brought some magic into my life. Ellie says hi to Cat. Cat says, hello, Ellie, I'm driving and listening. It's good to see you. Ellie says, okay to Cat. So, Cat, I know you probably can't chat. Should I mention the news? Let it be a surprise. I'm going to bring it up because I want everything ready. I told him I would send it to him. I'm okay, Ellie. I'm okay. Cat says hi. I need to send you my reply to David. Cat, here was my reply. Would it be totally unprofessional of me to say holy cow? Thank you so much, David. I will set up the stream today and send you details. Thank you. Is holy cow an unprofessional term? Hey, Sniper. All right, guys. I think I was frozen for a second. On Monday, the 22nd. Mondays at 1 o'clock is always Miss Flipper Day. However, Miss Flipper is spending time with a friend, so she is unable to make it, which means there was no one there, except for me, to talk about A Course in Miracles. Today, this morning, I sent a note to someone that I'm not connected to with Facebook, the wild chance, David Hoffmeister, who is considered one of the premier big names of A Course in Miracles teachers. He's considered a master teacher, just an amazing teacher who is able to provide so much detail in his teachings. He actually did an interview with David Plath. James Plath, who was on our show on Thursday in chat. Anyway, I did not expect David to get back to me anytime soon. Hours after I sent the message, he replied and said, sure, I would love to. This happens to be when I first talked to Kat about A Course in Miracles a while ago, almost a year ago, I'm guessing. She had said her favorite teacher, aside from me, of course, David Hoffmeister. And so, guess who's coming on the show? David Hoffmeister. Got a quick call on it show. But now, right now, our good friend Anna Marie is here. And Anna Marie has been gracious enough that she's going to share her story of recovery. We're going to talk all things recovery between us. I think you might have froze, Anna. There we are. Oh, she froze again. Let's see if we can work out the issues. Richard, I didn't get your emails. Are you with us, Anna Marie?
I believe so.
All right. We can't.
I'm not sure why, but I was freezing. It was booting me out.
You were freezing. We have audio, but we don't have the visual. It's up to you.
Let's see. Maybe? How do I do this? I'm not sure my visual is working for some reason.
When you first came up, we could see you.
I thought so. Well, I'll keep trying to, because it says show live video, but it's not.
You want to pop out and pop back in and see if it works?
Yeah, let me give that a shot. I'll be right back.
Okay. My solution for everything is to start over.
It's not a bad solution.
So our friend Anna Marie is going to come up. We're going to talk recovery. She's going to share her story, and we'll trade things back and forth. And here she is. Hey. I think
Hello. I think we got it this time.
I think we do. So guys, this is Anna Marie. Some of you are familiar with Anna Marie. I met Anna Marie at Maddie's channel. No F's, No Frills, No Mercy.
You gotta love Maddie.
You gotta love Maddie, for sure. And he says, "Hey Anna, lovely to see you."
I say good to see you guys. I hope everyone is doing wonderfully.
So Richard says, "Nice to put a face to the name, Anna." I asked you this before.
I don't know about that, but
do you prefer Anna Marie or Anna?
Either. Just whatever you feel in the moment. Honestly, it took me a really long time to be comfortable with my name. It used to bring me a lot of turmoil, trauma. You know.
we share that in common.
Either way.
We share that in common.
Do what?
We share that in common, Anna Marie. I'll tell you a brief story as we go into our conversation. That I had a speech impediment growing up, and
really,
some things were very difficult for me to say, and I was teased even by teachers, and some of the teachers were nuns, and I had a hard time saying my name, and I remember asking, I think it was in second grade, if everyone knew who I was, could I skip it? And she said no, and I stood up, I guess for the sake of new students or whatever. And of course, everyone pointed, and the teacher giggled, thinking it was pretty funny. So my name always brought a lot of trepidation to say out loud.
Wow.
So you and I, we shared that together. It took me a while.
Yeah, mine was like my mom and my stepdad. I was always I wasn't his kid was the gist of it. So I was, the little version of my biological, and it was a lot of torment for no reason. So it's taken me a long time to be comfortable in my own skin. So I'm proud of my name. So whichever one you decide.
I'm glad that you said it didn't matter, because I will be going back and forth to Anna Marie.
That's totally fine.
Let me write a little note. I'm going to be talking with Anna Marie, and I will miss a whole lot in the chat, but in a little bit, after you and I chat, are you okay answering questions?
Absolutely.
All right, so guys.
Sorry, I just saw a comment about that Selma needs to call the police. I want to make sure that Selma's okay.
I think it has to do with her and Harrison again.
Oh no.
So guys, Anna Marie and I will be talking about recovery, and so I'll be absent from the chat largely until after we talk for a bit, and then I'll dive back in to get your questions. So guys, I hope you find our conversation insightful. I bet you it's going to be inspiring, because I already know part of the ending. Otherwise, you and I would not be having this conversation about recovery.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I make one. Every once in a great while. I usually make an insightful point when I have a very inspiring guest.
Now I can see you're gonna make me blush.
You were talking about being uncomfortable in your skin.
Hmm.
How does that tie
Absolutely.
into addiction at all? Does it for you?
A lot more than I realized. Um, it it's taken a lot of time, a lot of therapy, a lot of really good support to come to a lot of the realizations that I have. And definitely being uncomfortable in my own skin was a factor that I think led to my addiction heavily. It was more like I was trying to hide. That was one of the things I was trying to hide from and not deal with was myself. I didn't realize it until someone pointed it out to me, but especially in the midst of my addiction, I would it wasn't that I refused to, but I would avoid mirrors and not even realize it. I
Well,
didn't want to look at myself. Like I did not want to deal with myself at all.
so what was your addiction?
My main addiction was heroin, and when it I would light up a drug test like a Christmas tree, and I'm very much not proud of that, but it heroin was my main addiction, unfortunately.
And how old were you
How old am I now, or how old was I in my addiction?
in your addiction?
Very young. Very young. I started when I was like 14, 15. It's a family thing, unfortunately.
A lot,
And
a
a
lot of
lot of
times it,
them sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I've lost a lot of family to it, and a lot of them haven't made it out the other side. So it's been a struggle to say the least.
It is very often a generational thing and a epigenerational thing. Um, I talk quite a bit about epigenetics and how it's passed over generational. Be proud of the
Hmm.
fact that you ended that epigenetic link, that you broke it not just for yourself, but you have literally set your children free and their
I
children.
hope so. I really hope so because she doesn't know it, and I don't know if I'll ever have the strength to tell her. But my daughter is the reason that I got clean. Um, I found out that I was pregnant with her, and from the day that I heard her heartbeat for the very first time, I was done. I was just done. I was done before then, but I don't think I realized just how done I was. And I needed an extra reason other than myself because at that time I wasn't enough to make that leap.
So
And
what led to
sorry,
your
go ahead.
addiction to be what led to your addiction to begin with? I mean, I know you said, family, but there was some choice somewhere.
Absolutely. I was going to say I made that choice. Ultimately, I made that choice. And it was pain and fear. Um, I was abused in every form of the word. And instead, I tried to tell people, and they didn't believe me. And I don't think it was so much that they didn't believe me; it was more so that they didn't care. Because like the more that I've gone through this in therapy, it was there's no way that the people I told didn't know. And that made it even more messed up. But it was uh fear and pain, and instead of dealing with things, it was easier to hide. It was easier to bury everything
How many years
behind addiction.
and how many years did your addiction go on?
say at least 10. Hold on, I'm trying to think. I'm being attacked by a bug. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Well, and at that point, 13 years of addiction to a hardcore drug, um, it's, I wonder the odds of survivability. They had to be against you at a certain point. The odds turn against you. Well, well, I bet. Um, Hi, Daisy May. You're frozen on the screen. I can hear you. Big Al, yeah, Big Al says he couldn't hear you. Can everyone hear Anna Marie, guys? Now we're moving. Um, so you said you started getting sober before you were pregnant, though, right?
It was I tried. I wasn't 100%. It was I was trying, and what ended up happening was my dad um drove states to get me. I called him, and I just said, I was like, I need you, and that was it. And the next day he showed up in the driveway of the dope man's house and picked me up and drove me here. And it was a couple of weeks. I was still, kind of sneaking around getting a fix here and there, and my brothers didn't help because they were, oh, you feel bad? Well, here, you know. Um, and I finally, one day, I looked at my dad, and he says, "What's wrong with you?" And I fell to my knees and begged him for forgiveness and begged him for help. And um, that was definitely one of the hardest moments of my life. But my aunt came across the way because he kind of lost it on me. he was more upset than anything. And my aunt walked from across the road, and she put me in her car and took me to a rehab center.
What was
And
your dad's response?
he was kind of like, I knew it, but also, how could you? You know, you were supposed to be better than me kind of response. Um, he was more so like, you know, drink a fifth of vodka and tough it out.
Right.
You know, you can do, basically, like, you can do it. You don't need to be doing that. But I literally told him, I was like, I can't do this by myself. Like, I can't. I literally can't. And my aunt, that's when my aunt came in and took me to a rehab center, and we did family therapy, and I can't say that I didn't falter after that, but I started an outpatient treatment center. And ever since since the day I started the outpatient treatment center, I have been away from all of it, and I would never go back.
Right. Now you have, how old is your daughter?
5,
And
almost
as you
6.
said, that's the reason for everything.
She is. She
When
really is.
someone comes into your life and is totally dependent, the same with Allie Bird came on, I think Friday before last, and she shared the same thing. It was her daughter that, or her son, I'm sorry, that was it. When, as you said, when you have something larger than yourself, especially when it comes in the form of something larger than yourself, but so small, so dependent, so in need of the love that only a mother can give, it breaks your heart open in a way.
It does. I'm trying not to cry, actually.
Hey, cry if you need to. So you're still in therapy?
I am. I go at least once a month. Just because it helps me, even if it's not, you know, talking about addiction or, you know, stuff from the past, just dealing with everyday things.
Sure.
It's good to have an unbiased opinion, you know, tell you whether you're right or wrong sometimes.
You think sometimes either people don't know or we ourselves lose track of the fact recovery is a verb, meaning it's not static. That
So true.
we're always in stages of recovery, even just, and all of us, even just from everyday life. Therapeutic modalities are really essential. Just life is so difficult.
Absolutely.
And so many of us we're addicted to negative thinking. We're addicted to a false and belittling self-image. We are addicted to the opinion of others, to a negative self-opinion about ourselves. So
People
we're all
pleasing.
people pleasing. So we're all in recovery from something. By the way, Daisy May says, Anna Marie, I'm so proud of you after hearing you talk.
Oh, thank you, Daisy May. But no, I didn't realize that there was more addiction other than, you know, like gambling or drugs or alcohol until I started going to therapy regularly. It really surprised me how much we're really addicted to just in our everyday lives.
Right. So you're dealing with all that as well?
I'm trying to. I'm definitely getting better about my people pleasing. But there are still some tendencies that I have that I don't know if I'll ever be able to get rid of. Not saying that they're necessarily a bad thing, but it just the way it was put to me is, you know, through the hardships and the trials that I went through, that I have certain tendencies that I may never be able to overcome, and I just have to figure out how to make the best in those. So,
right. I wonder if we, and you mentioned that just a moment ago. If we set something up to be overcome, we're putting ourselves in a battle. And any battle is going to be exhausting. But we do have the ability to reframe things and learn how to use what we think of might be as limiting as actual strength.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. And I think that everybody can do it. It just depends on your I don't want to say your state of mind, but the way that you perceive things. Like something that someone might think is negative might actually in fact be a positive.
Sure. What other healing modalities do you use on a day-to-day basis that help you cope?
I pray a lot. I definitely pray. But breathing. I have to remind myself that I need to take, even if it's just a moment for myself, to just breathe and be. Because if I don't care for myself first, then I'm no good to anybody.
Right.
And that's a very new concept to me. Like in the last couple of years, actually. So it's been an interesting journey.
Aside from therapy, do you do meetings or support groups?
I used to. I haven't in quite a while, actually, because I know there's good ones. I know there's great ones, actually. But I actually had some very, I want to say poor experiences where there were people there more so to prey on, people that were trying to be there for the right reasons. Instead of, being there to actually support somebody, they were there to try to make a plug.
Right.
And that happened to me more often than not. So I kind of stepped away from like NA or AA, AA, and found my support group that worked for me. And not saying that they're not a good group. I'm not saying that at all, because they have helped so many people.
Right.
But it just wasn't one that worked for me.
I've said the same thing, that I personally found AA meetings to me limiting, but as you said, they have helped countless people. And if you find it works for you, and everyone should definitely try it and find out if it does.
Absolutely.
But for me, it seemed that I wasn't able to let go of addiction if my focus was always on my addiction.
Right.
That, I was given, for me, sobriety was given as a gift. After over a decade of drinking the same thing that you're saying, I was trying to hide from myself. I was trying to erase myself. Alcohol gave me an identity. I was the party guy. I was the fun guy, in a bar, unpredictable. But beneath that facade, beneath that mask, I was self-destructive, and I knew it. I mentioned this the other day. I'm often asked, was quitting drinking hard? And my answer is no, because I never tried. I had no objective of quitting because my goal was to self-destruct. So why would I quit?
Yep.
But all along the way, I was planting these little healing seeds without even knowing it. I was meditating. I was praying deeper and deeper and deeper. My yoga practice deepened. And when I finally got pulled over, and I saw that light flash, I knew that I was done. That if I wanted to, I never had to take another drink ever again. And it was almost like every cell in my body went from a drinker, an alcoholic, to someone who never had a desire to drink, and I just walked away from it.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. I know I've heard you tell like bits and pieces of that before, and it's still just amazing.
Um, it is amazing. Sometimes I'm afraid to talk about it because I know people who struggle so much with their addiction, and
Right?
I don't want it to seem like you could just shrug your shoulders and say, I'm done.
Well, some people can.
Right,
Some people, have that blessing, and it's like you said, like a switch flips, and
right.
they can just let go of that. But as for me, it wasn't easy like that. It was a constant struggle. I mean, a day-to-day struggle where some days I was counting the minutes. Like, all right, I'm 1 minute sober, I'm 2 minutes sober. It was not easy for me.
So when did it become the point where you could say to yourself, um, I have, I might still be in recovery, but I've walked away from my addiction?
My daughter, um, the day that I saw her face, it something clicked inside me when I heard her heartbeat, but especially the day that I saw her face, I I knew right then I didn't care what it took. It it doesn't matter what it takes. Just nothing matters except for being sober for her. And now I have my son, my husband, and I have so much more than just myself now.
So,
And it just it's worth it. Not saying that I wasn't worth it, but
right.
it, I now realize that too. I now have myself on that list.
So there were times when you, after you stopped and before your daughter, when you think you might have felt like you were wavering a bit, that you could go backwards?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was terrified, because especially before she was born, I did not think I was good enough. I was, a no good junkie. I might have been going to a doctor and getting medication, but I just traded one evil for another.
Right.
You know, I had, I think, more of a mental battle than anything.
Carrying that label, junkie, has to be
Oh
a
yeah,
heavy, heavy load to carry.
absolutely.
Have you let it go?
I have. I have. I still, whenever I was pregnant with my son, and especially, those few days after he was born, I had a little bit of a battle, but it was nothing like when I was pregnant with my daughter. Um and I think that's a lot to do with my support system and my faith in not only myself, but you know, me and God have a good relationship now, and I know I have people around me now that if I start to fall and I were to say, "Hey, I'm tripping. I need you to catch me," I know they would,
It's
and it
awesome.
makes so much of a difference.
I'm glad you said relationship with God, because so often, if we think of God as very distant and not an active part of our life, on a day to day, moment by moment, minute to minute um, level, it becomes impossible to reach for. But
That is so true.
when you have that relationship, like you said, could you maybe add a little bit? What does relationship with God mean for you?
Let's see. I don't know. I don't think I've ever actually tried to put it in words.
And if it's too much, that's fine,
Oh no, it's okay.
or too personal.
It to me, I know he's there now, even though I whenever I might not be thinking about it, but I pray more now. I pray all but constantly, honestly, for my children, for my family, I try not to pray for myself, but I do. Even if I'm not sitting in a pew in church, um, the Bible says that you need but one man in God to have church.
Can I share something with you that my friend James Plath came up and talked? He's the author of a book called The Gospel of Astonishment, and he shared a story. It's a Hebrew story of the Lord's name, Yahweh. And it's not just the name, it's the sound of the breath. And you were talking about checking in with your breath. So when you do that, you're literally praying. You're literally saying Yahweh. You're literally getting
Every
in
time.
touch. So we lose track of the sight or the feeling that God really is that presence, never absent, always intimate, and as nearer than the breath itself.
I don't know if it might have, I hope it was from his book, because that would be amazing, because I've actually I've heard that before, and that very much stuck with me. Was, even in my darkest times, even when I thought that I was the furthest from God that I could possibly be, I was still calling his name and talking to him with every breath that I took, whether I knew it or not. He
I
was still
told
there.
I could tell that you had heard that before because when I said Yahweh, you immediately went and took a breath in. Um,
I hope it was from that. That'd be so cool.
it's a it's a story that's been around a bit, and I believe it was based upon a TED talk that someone gave. I'll see if I can find it and I'll send it to you.
I
Um,
appreciate that.
but also, it seems like you just instinctively, the fact that you instinctively check in with your breath, that uh, you just because you've reached out using your breath.
I think I knew even before I knew, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. It does make sense. I often think that the cells and molecules and the atoms and the particles of our body have this innate wisdom completely on their own that bypasses the logical brain. That if we just listen to the breath, if we just listen to our bodies, if we just listen to that wisdom that is within us, a large amount of doubt and fear just is surrendered, just goes away, disappears.
I agree. I actually very much agree with that. Um, like one of my favorite places, when I feel like I'm having just whether it's mentally or physically or just whenever I'm having a day. Um, like yesterday, um, you know, my daughter had a rough week in school, and my son was just being really just whiny, and it didn't matter what I did. I didn't feel like I could. I was getting overwhelmed. Just little bits of chaos from here and there, and it was just becoming too much. So I tell him, I'm just like, I need a few minutes, and I walk outside, whether it's moonlight or sunlight, but something about being outside and just listening to life.
Right?
It it helps bring me back center. Just those few breaths that you need in that moment. It just whether
Um,
there's words or not, I feel like that's God bringing me back center.
I agree. You know, I am a professionally, I'm a meditation teacher,
Mhm.
and I'm often asked for simple ways of meditating, especially for people who don't have the time or the inclination to sit, close their eyes, and meditate. And the answer is always getting outside in nature. And because there's fractal patterns in every part of nature, and um, it immediately, as soon as you go outside, your eyes respond to those patterns and puts you into a alpha brainwave state, which is the earliest state of meditation and the state where we get our greatest insights. So if you go outside and you practice breathing through your nose, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, nothing special, just nasal breathing, you immediately enter a meditative state and you begin to heal.
I did not know that.
So make sure you take nature breaks as often as possible.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, even it, whenever one of the things that I've thought about recently too is, one of the things we don't see as much anymore is kids playing outside.
That's true. That's true.
And whenever mine, they just get a little overly rambunctious, or they're just having a hard time, I'm like, let's go outside, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Go outside, come on, let's go.
Hey, I'm
And
going to read.
brings everybody back.
Yes, I'm going to read you something Sniper said. We go to the trees for rest, force, and relief. Leaf. Pretty
That's
clever.
really good.
It is. So you said you'd be up for answering some questions?
Absolutely. I'll do my best.
Guys, our friend Anna Marie has just shared her story. We covered addiction. Addiction itself, and the story of our addiction is really only a small part. The story itself is in the recovery.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. Getting into the addiction is honestly the easy part. Coming out of it and dealing with what got us there, and then every day after we accept to our recovery, that's the journey.
Questions for Anna, guys?
Come here. Oh, goodness.
Sniper said, and I'm not sure. Hey, puppy.
This is Bug.
Hey, Bug. Chihuahua mix or?
I think she's full blood. I'm not 100% sure. Say, I'm in recovery too. So I was not treated well.
Huh? Poor guy.
Yeah.
Sniper said he would be interested. He would be interested on what life path you were on.
What do you mean life path?
That's what I was wondering. Sniper, what do you mean? Big Al says, I have no questions, just a statement. Be kind to yourself, all of you.
That's a very good statement.
Sissy says, oh, just thinking cute. She's either talking about you, Bugsy. Let's see. Our friend Richard, Mint Chocolate Chip, says, question. When you first decided to stop taking drugs, how did you find the withdrawal symptoms? Did you ever feel like you were going to relapse?
Yeah, actually, the fear of withdrawal actually kept me from sobriety a lot longer than I would honestly like to admit. Because I mean, you get sick and it feels bad, and you hear people's stories of what they went through, and making that leap of faith into, I'm just gonna go through it. It's that fear that really holds you back, the fear of withdrawal and the fear of the unknown.
It's so much of any addiction, and the reason why we don't enter recovery sooner goes from that one word that you said, fear.
Absolutely.
We enter into addiction because of fear, we stay in addiction because of fear, and we put off recovery because of fear.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Our friend Lee says, where'd that go? Anna, apologies if this is personal, but do you get tempted at times or do you have that, or do you still have the urge? Or do you have the urge?
Not anymore. I did, especially whenever I first started. Um, but it was more of a mental thing than anything, because of a lot of addiction is honestly habit. It's kind of like habit and ritual. You do what you got to do to not be sick, and that just becomes routine. But anymore, no, I don't.
Um,
I'm sick.
Sissy had said she meant all of you, but especially, but mostly Bugsy.
Yeah, she is pretty stinking cute.
Um, Sniper said that life path is numerology, the year of your birth, your birthday numerology. Um, so,
So, like, what's my birth year? Is that what they're asking?
well, no, when he said your life path corresponds to your birthday and specifically numerology. Um, so maybe Sniper comes up on Tuesday evenings, so maybe he can help you figure out the life path that he's referring to.
I would definitely enjoy that.
MDLC says, "What does her T-shirt stand for?"
My T-shirt, it's
Yep.
Luffy. It's the Straw Hat Crew.
Oh, okay. I'm unfamiliar with that. Richard says, "Yes, I had that same problem, Anna Marie. When I first started to come off the drugs, it was hard because all the people I associated with were doing them around me, and sometimes I did relapse and felt shitty." So
People, places, and things.
did you have a complete change of scenery?
Yes and no. Like I said, my dad literally drove states to come get me when I asked for help. And that got me away from a lot of it. But then I came here, and a lot of my family, like I said, my brothers, one of my brothers is an alcoholic. Another one is really deep into meth, and I have a lot of family that is still to this day, pretty deep in addiction and don't really seem like they want to change that.
How's
Um,
your how's your relationship with your family?
the ones that use, it's non-existent. I'll hear about them through the grapevine. Just they are family. So I ask about them, but as far as like reaching out and trying to spend time with them, I won't put myself in that situation.
Lee says, "Anna, how do you find the mental side of addiction? Does it feel like a constant battle, heart versus habit?"
At first, absolutely. Um, because my heart knew that what I was doing was killing myself. Like you said, I was on a straight path to self-destruction, and at first I was okay with that, but then when I wasn't, my heart was telling me that everything that I was doing was wrong, and I knew it. But the habit, and the fear made it harder to take that leap into sobriety.
Do you ever get caught up in a what if?
What do
What
you
if I
mean?
hadn't? What if I hadn't stopped? What if I continued? Where would my life be? Chances are, especially with your addiction, there wouldn't be a now.
Absolutely. And I have done that actually, because and it's gone more of the fact that, what if I said no to the first time I was offered that, or the second time? What if I had changed my path, um, even just a tiny bit? But it's, every time that I think about, what if I hadn't decided to get sober? What if I hadn't called my dad that day?
What if your dad was busy or said no?
Right. What if he hadn't answered? Every question that would lead to me still being in addiction, I would not be here. I would absolutely not be here.
I think about that often myself. Not only was I a self-destructive drunk, I was a selfish and dangerous drunk. I drove quite often, and I endangered people. And I would be so frightened, but the next day I would go back and do it again. And I've dealt with a lot of this through my own practices, but I still have nightmares where I will wake up from it, cold sweat, that I had endangered someone's life. And as much as I like to think that I keep doing this inner work, I keep healing, that fear, that terror, that I took things so lightly, it's still with me. And I think, what if I continued? What if I wouldn't be here, and how many people would not be here as well?
Right.
Because of my selfish actions.
I've actually had the same thought, because we ended up in yards, or taking out mailboxes, or like those big barrels that they put out for constructions, those big orange barrels. We've hit those. I've hit like the middle median, those concrete medians. I've hit those and destroyed cars. It just, honestly, I'm so blessed that I didn't hurt someone, let alone myself.
Because, if something happened to me, I brought that upon myself.
Absolutely.
But no innocent person, that was their only issue, was that they were in my path, deserved any of that. And like you, I'm fortunate, I'm blessed that aside from relationships ending, no one was hurt.
And that's another thing that I try to think about to keep me on the straight and narrow.
Right. Where we are here. Any other questions? Can I ask you, where did you find the courage to come up and share your story with us? Because I could tell it was hard.
From you guys, honestly. So many of you guys, I've gotten to watch so many of you guys get up and talk about your stories, and I'm so thankful that I'm in a place where, even though there are parts of it that are still hard to verbalize, if I can tell my story and it helps someone, even the smallest bit, I want to. And I definitely got that strength from all of you guys.
And now you've added it back for others to step forward as well. That's no small thing. And you know what? I think as people in recovery, we actually owe it to those not yet beginning their recovery, or in the middle of the recovery, or even right after. We owe it to share our story, to guide people through whatever it is they're going through.
I definitely agree.
We have an important question from MDL.
Okay.
Does she sing?
Do I sing?
Uh-huh.
It depends on the day.
Because we're doing like a little karaoke session tonight.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say it is Saturday night karaoke, isn't it?
It's Saturday night karaoke. So just something to consider.
So, well, like I said, y'all have helped me become this brave. So maybe I can take it the next step and try to sing.
I always tell people, honestly, if I can do it, if I can get up here and sing, um, anyone can do it for sure. Kat says, "Thank you, Sunshine Anna." Sends her love.
Thank you guys. Y'all are the reasons that I agreed to do this. Honestly, you guys are all so amazing and so strong.
Let's see. MDL says she looks like a Jane Seabury fan. I don't know who that is. Do you?
Not sure that I do either. I'll have to look that up.
Whenever someone says to me, "You look like," it's just some bald guy, as if every single bald guy looks exactly the same. Every day I hear 17 different bald people. You look just like, but none of these bald people look alike. But somehow I look like every single one of them. I don't know how that works.
I'm trying so hard not to laugh. It's not working.
Feel free. Go ahead.
Sorry. Oh my goodness.
I wonder if that happens to other bald guys. Are they told that they look like every other bald guy?
Probably.
You think
Probably. So? Oh my goodness.
Jenny says she wants to know the name of your dog.
Her name is Bug, like B-U-G. My daughter named her whenever she was 2, whenever we first rescued her.
She's a very, very chill dog.
Honestly, at the moment she is. She does have that little tendency to be afraid of her own shadow. So.
Oh yeah, I just saw her jump a little bit.
It's a fly. She does not like bugs, which is kind of ironic.
Joe's laughing. It says all bald men look alike.
Oh.
All right. I think that
It's okay.
I think we got all the questions.
So, well, if anybody ever thinks of any more, you guys just let me know, and I will gladly come back up.
It's always the door's always open for you. If you want to come up and share some more insights on your journey, if you just want to keep talking recovery, if you feel inspired by anything that you think might be helpful for someone, here's the thing with recovery: we're on the journey together.
That's so true. That is so very true. But hi, Lucy.
Hi, Lucy. Lucy came up, I guess, over a week ago, and told her story on a Thursday afternoon.
I missed that.
It is. I think it's on one of my playlists. I have a playlist of guests, and you'll be on the playlist as well. So if you want to share, if anyone says maybe someday your kids are going to want to have questions, and it might be easier to show them a video of you talking about it, and then they can ask questions to you.
That's actually a really good point. I never thought of it that way. I have had that thought that I want to, when they get older, obviously, I don't want to hide my story. I don't want to hide my situation, because I don't want them to fall into the same patterns or anything.
Right.
And if they have questions, I want them to be able to come to me.
Can I share what I think the beauty of your story is?
Of course.
You did this for your kids. What a gift of love. And what a gift they're going to receive when they realize my mother loved me so much that she completely changed everything. She arrested a path of self-destruction and said, for you, for you.
I don't think I've really thought of it that way. That's actually a very good point.
Just thinking of what you did, and tears in my eyes.
Well,
It's a beautiful
they,
it's a beautiful selfless act.
I listened to what God put in my heart, and He told me that I needed to live for myself and for them versus continuing on my path of self-destruction and winding up dead in a ditch. Because they didn't choose to be here. But I got to choose to be the person that they deserve to have in their life.
Right.
That's my responsibility to them.
Hey, there's another school of thought. Sounds a bit far off, but I'd love to think about it. That we can say heaven, or we could say in wherever we are before we come here, we make an agreement with the people who are going to be our family. And your children knew you were going to need to be saved, and they chose you. They chose to came here to save you.
I have actually, I have similar thoughts, because I know that she was sent to me for a reason, and I know that, whether it was God Himself or my family that has preceded me to heaven, or like you said, whatever we want to call the place after, they sent her specifically to me for a reason.
Right.
And that little girl, oh man, I don't know if I will ever be able to put into words how much she means to me, or how quite literally she saved my life.
I love that thought that little soul loved you so much that she said, I'm going to save my mother's life. And in return, you responded because of her and for her.
That's why her middle name is Hope, because she brought hope back into my life. And my son's name is Atlas because he carries more weight on his shoulders and helped me to realize what I needed to carry on my shoulders for them.
Grandma says, Grandma 3, girl, you are amazing. And she
I don't know about that.
She sends you love. Solana girl says the force is strong in this one.
I love it. You
MDL
guys are
says I'm literally tearing up, not figuratively.
Oh, yeah,
You have
I'm trying my hardest not to too.
You are you have a story to share. You have a message.
I do.
I feel blessed that you came up and shared it with me and all of us.
I feel very blessed that you invited me.
And again, it's not a one-time deal. For one, you're not just a guest; you're a friend.
Thank you.
And friends are always welcome to come up and share. If you're having a tough day and you want to say, "Can I come up and hang out?" Come on up and hang out.
I really appreciate that.
You're always welcome. Sniper says, "Feel none of the love." Yeah, my tears have switched. Just a whole lot of joy to have you with me.
Well, I don't know how to put it into words, but everything happens for a reason. I happened upon you on Maddie's channel one time, and popped into your channel, and you guys just being yourselves, singing to your heart's content and just being there for each other and telling your stories. You guys are honestly truly inspiring. And you guys have done more for me than I can really put into words. And I really appreciate all of you guys.
Sissy says, love to you, Anna. So we're going to end the live stream in just a minute. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone in the chat. Do you want to hang out while I say goodbye, or you want to hop back in the chat and maybe say hi to everyone, or totally up to you? Totally up to you.
Either way, I was gonna say I'll hop back down into the chat. That's not a problem.
Okay,
Thank you
let's
guys
do it that way.
so much for having me up. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Grandma sends some love, some hugs for all of us. Jenny says, how you mod? Why you root people up to Eric? Shocked, but up to him. All right. I didn't see everything that was going on in the chat. Again, I really hope we can stop. Guys, I'm in a good space. I just had a beautiful moment. A beautiful moment was offered to every single one of you. I hope you take advantage of it. I hope you walk with the message that our friend Anna Marie gave us. I hope you carry that in your heart for the rest of the day. I'm sorry, Carl. Carl says he's lost. No, that's not. That's Anna Marie. This is Anna Marie, Carl. Grandma says you're welcome. Grandma, thank you so much. He says, bye, Anna Marie. So nice to see you on the panel and meet you. All right, guys, let me end it this way. We'll probably do some singing. Carl says, I don't know her. She is friends with Maddie. You've probably seen her over at Maddie's. Anna Marie says, thank you all for being so kind and having me up and listening to a bit of my story. Grandma says, anytime. It's an amazing story, Anna Marie. Mint says, Anna Marie, that was amazing. And getting to hear you about your addiction and your recovery process. We're also proud of you and what you have achieved. And I give you all of my respect. Absolutely, Richard, absolutely. Praveen, thank you, my friend. Praveen says, love you, sir. Love you too. So, as mentioned, we all have a story. We are all recovering from something, even if we don't realize that we're recovering from something. If you have a story and you want to share, reach out to me so we can talk about it. And then we will come on up. We'll work something out. Jenny Thong said, Anna Marie, you are amazing. Love it. Crying. Thank you. Proud of you. Thank you, Jenny. Anna Marie says, thank you, Mint. It means the world. No more pop-up live streams for Carl. Richard says, you're welcome, Anna Marie. I went through the same trouble. Clean out. That's absolutely amazing, Richard. Absolutely amazing. 26 years. I have been without a drink. You know, Wayne Dyer. Hey, Driven. Wayne Dyer used to call himself a camel. Carl says, I want Lita to get my email if it's possible. Yogi, yep, I can handle that, Carl. If it's not done, send me a reminder. Driven says, hey, man, hey, Jace. Hope the workout went well. I did catch the beginning of it. Yeah, Wayne Dyer used to call himself a camel. A camel is an animal that begins its days on its knees, ends its days on its knees, and can go 24 hours without a drink. Wayne Dyer would begin his day in prayer. He would end his day in prayer, and he would go 24 hours without a drink. Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, a few other people, those were some of those seeds that I had planted without even realizing it. I wasn't trying to quit drinking, but I was listening to Wayne Dyer talk. I was listening to Deepak Chopra. Find some inspiration. Read the right books. Listen to the right people. Replay this conversation. Listen to Anna Marie. These are the people that will guide you. Anna Marie says, I am 6 years sober as of this month. Thank you guys so much for letting me share, for all the support. One day I plan to share that I am 26 sober as well, Miss Yogi. That would be awesome. That means it would be, what, 50 some years for me? All right. Well, I'll make a date. I promise that. Make it to 26 years, and Anna Marie, and I'll still be here on YouTube 3 times a day, every day. I read your message, Jenny. I read your message out loud. It says, I'm waiting to get a reply with your email so I can pass on the lead too. I haven't gotten anything, Richard. Let me check my spam. A lot of times, if it's the first email, it might go to spam, and I always forget to check it, but I will. For guys who might have just be coming in, Anna Marie shared her story. Amazing. I hope you go. I hope you go back and you listen. Anna Marie says, I'm going to hold you to that, Mr. Yogi. All right. It's a promise. Richard says, to beat any addiction is a hard process, no matter if it's drugs, alcohol, energy drinks, or gambling. It's a challenge, and it takes pure strength and determination, but with time, it can be achieved. Thank you, Richard. Jay says, Lucy, I never nearly caught you. Richard says, okay, Yogi, no problem. If I don't see it, remind me this evening, and I'll send it to you again. Henry says, but you're so right. The right books, the right guy, people, even the right, agreed. Even, you know what? A song can trigger that inspiration to do something different. Makes a huge difference in life in general. It certainly does. Kevin says, middle school is a lot more than intermediate. I seem to remember. It's been a long time. Carl has thrown all books in the bin. Lucy says, I'm addicted to energy drinks. Jenny says, Anna Marie, okay, sub to you, please. All right. So we're going to end the live stream so I can rest my singing voice. Believe it or not, my singing can get even worse if I don't rest. And it says, of course, Jenny, if you leave me a comment, I'll sub back. Awesome, Carl. 107. Hey, Jason.
Did you think you'd get away that easily?
It was that close.
That close. Right. Can I let you into a little secret?
Sure.
Take glasses off just for a quick second. You don't need to look at the screen. You don't need to read the screen. It's okay. It's fine.
I don't like taking my glasses off.
No, obviously, if you're looking directly at the screen, just imagine if you'd let it grow. You'd been like this now. You'd have been here. You'd been like, well, yes, you knew the growth. You could hide food in there. You can actually hide. You could hide some mushy peas in the middle and then just cover them back up.
If it was bigger, I would be your slightly less attractive younger brother.
My suitably, like, attractively twin brother. Come on, man.
See, it was sort of a compliment.
Was that a juggling type motion I was doing then? I'm seeing juggling. I'm seeing balls going around.
Jenny wants to know if I will ever sing Queen. I will never sing Queen.
Why don't you want to break free?
For a simple reason. I cannot do it justice. Now, however, I'm very good friends with someone who can do it justice, who just happens to be singing sort of.
Maybe soon. I missed Flex Friday yesterday. Would you mind if I just take the opportunity just to do it very, very quickly?
So
something very, very small. Okay. I'm going to do a little shoulder flex from the behind, so I'll face away from the camera. Oh. We'll use the aid of one of these. Notice how the arms have got a little bit more.
Yep.
I've just got to do a couple of reps just for it to start to run. We should be getting there now. Here we go. Yeah, they've changed a little bit.
They have.
So it's, I'm with Reaper tomorrow. Doing man makers. I think we're doing 25 or 35 pound dumbbells, which is going to be interesting.
Well, I see that going around. I see a lot of people hitting man makers. I saw Leo today.
I didn't quite get to Flex Friday yesterday, but that was it. 51 years old, 52 in a few weeks.
Do you know what I want to see?
Go on.
And I mentioned this to you before. I want to see you do a video, before and after video.
Yes, I will. I've been compiling some pictures together, so I can do a little section of like a little montage, and put some little music to it. And the before and after, it's on its way.
Sadly for me,
the shoulders. I can't believe where I've got little bits. They're just.
I've had the good fortune of following you for a long time, so I've seen it with my own eyes. But a lot of people have only gotten to know you when you've been this version of Jace, or slightly less, and getting here now. If people had been long time following you, because I always hear people say, "Oh man, I'd love to look like Jace. I'd love to do this. I'd love to do that." They don't realize.
Absolutely everybody can get to this sort of level of conditioning. You've got to remember it's 18 months hard work, and you don't get there overnight. But if you can combine a good diet with plenty of rest and a medium amount of work, you're going to get good results. And that discipline, it just becomes natural after a certain amount of time. And then you get to a time where when you start getting those little gains, you start getting that better shape of ties, you're like, yeah, I'm happy now. And then it becomes enjoyable. And then you start working individual little bits, and getting individual little bits just toned up nicely. And then you can start doing things like this sort of thing. People look and they're like, oh, you're in great shape. Not bad for 51.
No, I would do a before and after video, but people would be like, oh man, I don't want that to happen to me.
You haven't changed in 30 years. That's what they'll say. You just lost a bit more hair.
I don't think I can lose any more hair, actually.
You can. Remember, there's that little one that always seems to make a reappearance.
That's the one everyone's talking about. What happened to your hair? And I'm like, wait a minute, did something happen to it?
The special one. For me, that special one always seems to come out of an ear somewhere. And it changes location. It's not always the same point. I'm like, oh, got you. Then all of a sudden it'll grow on that side. And I'm like, hang on a second.
Yeah, it's just one long one.
It's coming from the middle. It just decides which side it wants to go. Tiger.
What we need to do, book a day, an hour, and come on up and tell the Jace story.
Yeah, we'll possibly do that. That can happen. There's some crazy times at the moment. I'm not sure if everybody's aware of what's going on around the world with all the different protests and all the different emotions and the different conflicts. And then we look outside the little bubble, and there's lots of things floating about up there, which also could have an impact on everything that's going on. So one message we've got to try and get through to everybody is we need to stay together. If you've had any hardship with anybody, any arguments, any disagreements, just let them all go. Start afresh. Get that love, get that kindness, and that forgiveness, and just make that your common practice every single day. We never know when times run out, so make sure that all the time that we have got, we use it wisely. Spread that love and that kindness. It's something that we learn, and as we grow older and as we get wiser, we should get it out more and more. Obviously, it's free, doesn't cost a single thing, so use it, don't abuse it. Right, brother? Much love, much kindness.
Much love to you. That's a beautiful message for me to end the live stream on. Thank you, Jace. Much
Yes, sir.
appreciated.
And we will get some burpees in soon. Obviously, I'm with Reaper tomorrow, so it will be next Sunday, if that's okay with you.
Yep, I know you got to save your strength for Reaper. I've been there. By the way,
Louis will want to go hard. Louis will want to push, so it's like the old man's got to try and keep up.
right. Keep your eye on Reaper. I fell for his tricks once. Don't fall for his tricks.
He'll be doing half reps, and I'll be like, yeah, get the elbow all the way back up there, mate. Get it back up there.
Let him know. Let
Much
him know
love, much
tomorrow.
kindness. I'm going to go
Let
and eat
Reaper
some
know.
food.
Let Reaper know tomorrow that you're not going to fall for his tricks like I did.
He's got to keep up with me, mate. I ain't worried about it. Let's go, Raiders!
There you go.
Much love. In a bit.
Much love. Take care. See you guys. I'll see you tonight.